Welcome to Beyond the Awards, a podcast from the British Wedding Film Festival. This is where we have honest conversations with filmmakers shaping wedding cinema, nominees, winners, and industry voices. I'm Joce.
And I'm Jeff, and as co-founders with Laura and Pete of the British Wedding Film Festival, we're excited to bring these conversations to you.
To launch the very first episode of Beyond the Awards, it felt right to start with the filmmakers who took home British Filmmaker of the Year.
Known as the Wedding Filmmakers, Adam and Rachel are a husband and wife team creating bespoke films for high-end, multi-day celebrations across Europe and beyond, and regularly documenting large-scale, multi-day celebrations.
Today, we're talking about how they've developed their voice as a duo, what it really takes to reach this level, and what success looks like beyond recognition.
We're really pleased to welcome Adam and Rachel to the podcast. Great. Rachel and Adam, welcome to the podcast.
Right.
And congratulations.
Oh, thanks for having us, guys.
Rachel.
You hate this, don't you? You hate it. Congratulations.
I can't do. Honestly, I said to him, I'll start laughing straight away when they start with the script. I'll just start laughing.
No script then, throw it away.
We'll do the talking for you, Rachel. Welcome to the Beyond the Awards podcast. I can see behind you two beautiful, I wonder what they are, two beautiful trophies.
Duracell batteries? No, trophies.
Yeah, I mean, pride of place on the mantelpiece. Really
Amazing.
impressed quality of these things, by the way. Like they've got a good weight to them.
Yeah, congratulations. A worthy win, definitely, on both counts.
Oh,
Yes.
thanks.
So well done.
Thank you.
guys.
Definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the night you were like, what? Why have we won? I don't get it.
No, honestly, yeah.
We're just doing our
after
job.
Yeah, literally. After the first one, I think we were like, well, yes, no, great, amazing. And then I think that's when, well, personally, I just maybe started drinking a bit too much. And then when the final award came, it was
it was a shock because I mean, there's so many talented people that entered, and you don't enter expecting to win. But yeah, it was a really nice surprise, and didn't expect it.
There's great shots of you guys' reactions after winning British Filmmaker of the Year. Like that, the shock on your face is visible. Rachel's like, "What? Us?"
Yeah, literally.
One of the things we like to do on this podcast to get to know you a little bit more, like we're around a campfire, we'll play a campfire game of playing Two Truths and a Lie. So for the people that don't know what that game is, obviously, it's like, would I lie to you? You know, the show. And you basically make up a lie and mix it together with two actual facts. And then we have to guess which one's the lie. So yeah, fire away.
So first one is we met while skiing in France.
These are so
Okay.
boring. We got married in Tuscany.
So that's the second one. And then third one's work related. We once filmed a wedding where they used cloud seeding to guarantee nice weather.
With a
Amazing.
what? They use
So
cloud seeding.
Cloud seeding, to guarantee sun on their wedding day.
I need to quiz you on this, Adam. We'll only get the answers at the end, by the way. But on this particular one, I'll see if you're lying or not. Did it work?
What? Oh,
Did you get good weather?
It did work. Yeah. Sorry.
Might have worked.
No, it did work very well.
We'll have a think about those then, and we'll try
We
and
will.
trip you up during the cross examinations to try and get the answers out of you without you knowing. I don't want to show off or anything, but we have been keeping scores, and I'm in the lead. Between me and Joce. Joce
true.
actually tried to copy me yesterday, thinking I always get it right, so he's going to copy me.
Yeah,
and we both,
I did.
And we both got it wrong.
No, Jeff got it wrong, and because he got it wrong, I got it wrong.
Yeah.
Adam, Rachel, so we'll get answers to these at the end.
Okay.
Before we do that, and before we delve into how you guys create beautiful film, can you take us back to the start of your story as filmmakers? How did it all begin?
Sure.
So after we met on a skiing holiday, we got married in Puglia, and then
Yeah, exactly. The rest is history.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, this is true actually, because it's quite hard to actually tell the story properly without maybe revealing some of
Exactly.
this. So yeah, I didn't really think that through, but Yeah, so
Can we
yeah.
change the answers? Can we change them?
So I started the business initially. So it's a bit of a long story, really. So when I was kind of a teenager, I was really into extreme sports. So there was a skate park where in the town that I grew up in. So a lot of my friends were into kind of like skateboarding, skating, BMX, all that kind of stuff. So I started out messing about with cameras, filming extreme sports and making kind of skate videos. And yeah, as a result of that, quite a few of the people I was kind of hanging out with ended up in video production related jobs. So yeah, I ended up freelancing quite a bit for them while I was still studying at uni, and got a proper job afterwards. So we met. So we
Yeah.
see this is where it goes out the window.
I have to be there.
Okay, so we met first. Like we didn't meet like
On the job.
on
kind of
the
thing.
job. Yeah. So I kind of started the business. Rachel graduated like a year after me, and at that point I'd already got like a steady stream of clients. And yeah, you just kind of started assisting on some shoots, really.
Yeah, I needed. So we'd just moved into a flat, and I had no money because I was freelancing, and I started doing multicams for you, didn't I? And you were paying me something like 50 quid per multicam. Not like there was that many going, but it felt like so much money at the time because we had rent to pay and I had no money. I was
Does he still do that, Rachel? Do you only get 50
Pretty
quid per
much.
wedding?
Oh no, you pay me now. So,
crack the whip. Yeah, and I wasn't getting any money from freelancing because it was kind of, so I did textile design and it was per kind of, what's the...
you're getting paid like per design.
I'm like, what did I do in my life? Yeah, per design. So if I'd sell a design, that's when I'd get paid, and that wasn't happening very often. So I started helping you, and then that slowly went into filming or just standing behind a camera and pressing record because I had no idea how to set one up.
Yeah, and I
that's
think
how
like
it
we used to film a
started.
lot of holidays together as well,
Yeah.
didn't we? I think you learned like how to
Use a camera.
use a camera and all the kind of settings that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was probably around, was it 2015? I think we decided, because like in the beginning, it was just literally a mix of,
Mhm.
if someone would pay us to use a camera, we would be there basically. It wasn't very like specialized at that point. So I think initially I started shooting in maybe 2012,
Mhm.
something like that. So quite early on when
Yeah.
the Mark II had sort of just come out and, a lot of people were using them professionally. And yeah, so I think
That's about when we met, wasn't it? Adam?
Pardon?
That was about when we met, wasn't it? About 2012, 2013?
Yeah,
Maybe
well, I
a
don't
little
think it
bit
was
later.
that. Yeah, I think it was maybe like around 2015, 2016, possibly. I remember seeing,
2016?
do you know what? I remember seeing it coming across your work online and just being completely blown away by it, Jeff, because I hadn't seen anything. Yeah.
Oh.
You
Finally,
didn't pay
someone
me
said it.
Next year's awards in the bag. And
No, Jeff, yeah, but back then, I mean, there wasn't like Facebook groups or much like education online. So it was just a case of like finding other people who were also creating wedding films in a certain style that you liked, and just essentially trying to rip them off, which I think we haven't managed. But yeah, I remember coming across your work pretty early on and just being blown away by it. So yeah, I think that kind of got us down the path of maybe focusing more on the wedding films rather than commercial work as well.
When did you move into like the proper setup that you have now? Because obviously, Rachel, I assume you do more than just editing now, because you're obviously a bit of a duo team. How does that change, and when did it happen?
so I think it was officially 2016. So I think it got to the point where the company name was Adam's name, and I didn't like that because I wasn't getting any recognition whatsoever, even though I was doing half the work. And it was just, one day, I think we maybe started speaking about that in 2015 and thought we need to kind of make it more about that it's both of us rather than just Adam.
But you've been shooting like
Mhm.
really since the beginning, I think, like coming
Yeah,
along to
2013, I'd say.
from about 2013. I
Mhm.
think it was you started assisting with the weddings,
Mhm.
but I think I can't remember. I think it's basically just been the two of us. On the wedding side, it's pretty
Mhm.
much been the two of us shooting together from the beginning, I think.
So yes, pretty much from 2016, that was when we kind of did the rebrand, and we did kind of go down that path more of selling the two of us, rather than just.
Yeah. Because
And how
I
did that?
think in the beginning, like we had some solo shoots and some like
Mhm.
2-person shoots, so it
Mhm.
was just depending on the budget, really.
In what ways did that affect your business? The fact that you became a duo, did it help with planners, say, or did it? Obviously, it helped with travel, because it's better to travel together. But did it help in any other ways? Did it affect the way that people kind of like? Do you think you got more bookings because of it? Not really.
Difficult to know, really, isn't
know,
it? It's hard to
yeah.
know why people actually book you, but
I think it probably helped, knowing that there was a woman and a man, I guess, especially for brides, maybe, because I think back then it was a lot more male dominated, especially photo and video. So I think knowing that a woman, so initially it started off, you would do bridal prep and I would linger maybe, and then eventually it went from that to me doing bridal prep and then you doing
Yeah.
groom prep maybe if they wanted that. And I think, maybe just bigger weddings. I don't know. And maybe
I think the consistency of the fact that we always shoot together really helps, because we don't, the clients are getting a really consistent product, really. Whereas, a lot of people in the industry, they're kind of one-man bands, aren't they? And they'll hire in freelancers to assist with the weddings. So we do that occasionally for bigger ones, but I think just having the core team being the two of us, it does really help, because you can reassure the couple that they are going to get that consistent look every time. And we don't need to be communicating too much on the day itself.
Yeah.
We're so used to each other's roles on a wedding that like I don't feel like we need to really talk a lot on the day. We know exactly what we need to get, and there's no, whenever we have had to work with other shooters, it's been quite a wake-up call, really, because you have to communicate what you need, right? And I think we're just so used to not having to do that.
Yeah.
It just sort of works.
like often it'll get to the wedding reception, the wedding breakfast, and that's the first time we're speaking all day because we've just been doing our own. We know what each other's doing, that we don't have to.
Yeah.
By the way, you were talking about how the business was in Adam's name. Whose idea was it to change it to the Wedding Filmmakers and own SEO moving forward for that space? Genius.
So the
Whose
term
idea
wasn't.
it?
Well, I think it was yours, but the term wasn't really properly being used back then. It was more kind of wedding cinematographer or wedding videographer. And was there something else?
Yeah, I think wedding cinematographer was like the main one for people
Yeah.
trying to differentiate themselves from just being a videographer. Because videographer's just not got a very cool kind of image that it presents, right? Like, and everybody, the industry's trying to move away from that constantly, right? And I think, Jeff, you were one of the people that coined like cinematographer quite early on, I think.
Like
perhaps.
everything, I nicked it off still motion. I pretty much just wanted to be them. so I was like, when you first start and then something blows you away and you think, how can I be like them, but without being like them? So one of the things was, they call themselves cinematographers. That's so cool. I'm going to do that. So I just nicked it off them.
Yeah. But I don't think people were calling themselves wedding filmmakers at the time.
Not really.
Because obviously we were able to buy the domain. So, and I think we even had we bought Wedding Filmmakers, Wedding Filmmaker. Like we bought pretty much all the domains.
Apart from the weddingfilmmakers.com, which Ray rinsed us about. He rinsed us on his podcast, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, but not the what did he say? The Wedding Filmmakers.
Yeah.
So now it does feel a bit cringe, but at the time it felt amazing. Like, oh my
so
god,
what is it?
the wedding.
What's your URL? Is it
the Wedding Filmmakers? .uk.
Yeah, .co.uk.
Oh god, that'll do, won't it? Jesus, that's fine.
Don't be on buying.com.
Available, but it was like 10 grand or something.
10 grand, really? 10 grand?
Oh my
something
god,
crazy.
Not worth it.
Not
No,
worth it.
Definitely not.
I'm sure we'll survive with .co.uk.
So, looking back at your earlier work, what do you see now that you couldn't see back then?
That everything was shot at 200 mil and this close, really tight.
Yeah, I think I would say that. Yeah, we used to shoot a lot of close-ups
Mm-hmm.
on the 70 to 200. That was quite noticeable.
Mhm.
A lot of wobbly glide cam shots as well. Do you remember the glide cam?
Oh,
Or
yeah. Isn't it
electronic
weird when you
gimbals?
look back now? When you look back and you thought it was good at the time, and you're like, oh, I'm getting seasick.
Have you still got a glide cam? Have you still got one, Adam
Yeah.
and Rach?
I think like we managed to sell it somehow. Like,
No, the first one you bought, wasn't it homemade by somebody?
I
Or was
think-
that the slide?
oh no, that was the slider. Yeah, it was a homemade slider,
Oh my God.
but it had like a dent in it, so every shot it would just sort of like go up.
It's because we filmed an Indian wedding once and we turned around, we're like, where's the
Slider.
slider gone? And there was a kid just jumping up and down on it. So obviously that's
Oh,
denting
no.
the slider. Just jumping up and down. And
Yeah, using it as a trampoline.
Oh.
yeah, after that, I think it was
Yeah, that'll do it.
his way of telling us we shouldn't be using that anymore, I think.
Yeah, I think we ditched it shortly.
So,
after. So lots of slider as well. That was the other
Mhm.
thing.
I didn't realize you'd been going for so long, actually, guys. So how, like, it's perhaps a very obvious question, but I'm going to ask you: how's the industry changed in your eyes, like over the past decade since you've started doing it?
Oh God. I mean, I think the standards just got
Mhm.
so much higher for what videographers now are producing is just
Mhm.
incredible. Early on, it was essentially if you were shooting on DSLRs, like your work kind of stood out against the people that had been established, using that had invested like 30 grand in these huge shoulder mount kind of camcorders, and we all just came along with our SLRs, and our work instantly was sort of looking a lot more
Mhm.
cinematic, I guess. Yeah, what else? I think it was easy. It was way easier to book clients, I think, back then as well. It was just a case
Tell
of,
me about
I think
it.
if you had a website, you were getting sort of, I think, we set a website up and we're just getting inquiries from Google like
Mhm.
every day, like, 3-4 inquiries a day, just
Mhm.
with very little work to show.
Yeah,
I
you
think-
could see the SEO as well, and a favourite was Cheap Cameraman Leicester. That was, I think,
You search that to
just
find
online
my
on our website, typing in Cheap Cameraman Leicester, which
Yeah.
And what about your own work? How has that? So, loads of questions on your work specifically, but like how, apart from the slider, like how has your work, like creatively, how has that evolved? How have you landed to like where you are now?
I wouldn't say it's too different in terms of content. Maybe I think the framing and technical things have improved, but
Yeah.
I don't know,
So I don't think, as videographers, I don't think we're
Yeah.
particularly
Mm.
artistic. I
No.
think we never want our work to look like, when you watch our films, we never want somebody to go, oh, okay, look, that's incredible. Like, look at the talent of the videographer. Like, we wanted the stars of the show are the clients, right? And the people getting married. So we always want them to kind of shine through and not necessarily create work that takes away from that. So, there's a lot of incredibly creative people in the industry producing, films that just are mind blowing in terms of like the production and the creativity involved in that. But I feel like our work has never really taken that route. Like, we focus a lot more on the simple things like, composition, lighting, and just getting the basics right, essentially, rather than going down the route of like kind of trends or crazy editing, which you do see sometimes, and it blows you away when you see it. Really fast paced edits, like speed ramping, all of that kind of stuff. Like, we've never really been into that. I think it's always just been about, like, I guess, trying to master the basics and just do that really well. And that's probably, I'd say, the biggest thing that we focused on, just getting things technically right, I suppose, or as close to perfect as possible.
seen it through the client's eyes, almost like they are watching it back in their mind. Do you know what I mean? It's the memories. It's because, like you say, we're not very creative, and we don't claim to be creative. Somewhat.
I was going to say, I think that's your superpower though, because it's become your style. I think that the thing is when you try to be creative and put your artistic impression into a film, a lot of the time your vision won't connect with a certain percentage of the demographic, and that can be a weakness. And if all you're doing is God honest documentary filmmaking that's perfectly shot and edited nicely, then everyone's going to connect with it, and it's never going to date. So yeah, I think it's, don't put yourselves down and say like, we're not that artistic. You obviously are. You know about timing. I've watched your edits. I know that you know how to edit. And it's that simplicity that makes it work so well. And that's, that simplicity lends itself to a certain type of wedding, where things are impressive enough without having to, do something clever with the filmmaking. In my opinion, that's, where you're,
it's interesting because I know that if I'm mostly a solo shooter, I've hired seconds, honestly, possibly 3 times, 4 times, that's it. And every time I do get a second, I feel like I actually want to push the creative boundaries, because I'm like, it's a luxury for me to have a second. So I'm like, I'm just going to ask that second, like literally you have free creative license to do, just give me some cool shit. Yeah. Basically. I mean, obviously I still want him to capture the key moments, and he's going to have to man a camera during ceremony. But like the rest of the time, I'm like, I don't actually need you, because the majority of the time it's just me anyway. So just give me some cool stuff. Like, it's funny that your approach is just being like, no, we want it to be clean and representative of the day. And it's like, it's the wedding and it's the couple that does the talking visually. Whereas I'm perhaps guilty of wanting to overproduce it because I have the luxury now of having a second for once every, so it's interesting to hear that.
Yeah. And I think with a lot of the weddings that we shoot, because a lot of the time they're quite big productions, like we do a lot of multi-day weddings, Indian weddings, like multicultural weddings as well, and they are quite big productions sometimes. And I think you want to capture the scale of everything, but also the intimacy of the moments, and the interactions between the couple and their family and the people that they're close to. But it's actually quite a difficult thing to do when there are so many guests, to not purely just focus on the spectacle of it all. And I think that's probably one of our strengths when it comes to the bigger events, trying to produce more of like an intimate film within those constraints of it being more of a production, if that makes sense. Yeah.
It certainly does. Do you ever get like a second video team at these big functions, get in the way?
Yeah, we've had it a few times, haven't we? At least, yeah. I mean, we've had some where I think up to maybe 12, 14, like photo video people on some of them.
We filmed a wedding in, the end of last year, I think it was September. And how many guests were there? 50? Less than 50.
Oh, there were only 50, yeah.
One day, civil ceremony. They had 2 of us shooting video, is that right? How many content creators?
2 content creators.
3 photo.
Digital photographers.
Yeah, and then 1 film photographer. No, was that 9?
Yeah, that was 9.
God.
That was a small wedding.
Yeah, but that worked really well. Whereas I think particularly Indian weddings or South Asian weddings, the bride side will hire a photo video team, the groom side do the same. And I think that is harder to communicate, isn't it? Because obviously you've probably got different briefs or you're capturing different things. So I think that is...
Yeah, that's tough. And sometimes it's a bit competitive as well,
Yeah, I know about that. It's a skill in itself just to cope with that kind of situation, just to keep calm and don't, if you get knocked over, just dust yourself off and just carry on. And yeah, it's
does that happen?
Oh God, yeah. It can do.
Really? Oh no.
I think what was
I was going to say, whenever that's happened in the past, when we have had multiple teams, I think sometimes it can be creatively freeing as well, because I think with those big events, sometimes you feel a lot of responsibility to capture like every element. And I think if there are other teams there, sometimes that kind of weight is taken off your shoulders to a degree. And you can just think, you know what, fuck it. Like, let's just capture the bits that we think are cool, because the other teams can get like, you know, the entire ceremony and the entire speeches and all the boring stuff. So I
thought you were going to say, let's just go to the free bar. Fuck it, let's just use the free bar.
Yeah. I mean, no, of course not.
How on the wedding day, how do you guys divide the creative responsibilities then, as far as shooting?
Answer this one if you want.
How long's it been? What do we do? I'm joking. It's been so long now. Creative responsibilities. So, I mean, I guess.
You're with the bride, aren't you?
Yeah. Is it that basic? Is that how I should be answering?
Yeah. Like, how do you? I guess how do you split the coverage, I suppose, between you two on the day?
Okay. So
is there a lot of repetition? You know. Because naturally things like speeches, ceremony, everyone's looking at the same thing. For the rest of the day, how does that split kind of happen?
So yeah, we'll both be with bride and groom individually. So you'll be with the groom generally, I'll be with the bride. And then
so I'll head to the ceremony with the guys usually, set everything up there. I'm usually responsible for the audio on the day, and the more kind of
no pressure, Adam.
Yeah.
You did it today as well, just in case it doesn't work. So, sorry.
So yeah, I think generally we've got those roles. So yeah, I'm more with the groom. Rachel's more with the bride. I think as well, like I tend to favour the gimbal a bit more. So I although you have been shooting quite a bit of gimbal recently, like I was generally more kind of gimbal focused with the filming, and you love to shoot like handheld, don't you?
Yeah, just one camera on either shoulder, just handheld. And then obviously ceremony, you're at the front generally, I'm at the back, and then
we're kind of fluid, I think, with the rest of the day, aren't we? Like it just depends on like how we're feeling. Like sometimes, you know, like we'll go with the couple for the portrait shoot. Sometimes I'll go.
Like it just happens, it might not even happen. So it's
we're just kind of fluid, I think, from that point onwards, just based on, you know, what each of us wants to do, I guess.
I bet you'll probably expect.
Do you have
certain structure?
Do you ever like?
It's very unstructured.
Sorry, no, but that is interesting, because like one of the things I try and I do in my work is, you know, the idea of like cinematic. There's loads of different applications of that, but for me, just one of the principles as simple as that is just like the same scene happening from different angles to kind of create a sequence. Do you kind of plan some of those shots? So things like, you know, even when I'm just solo shooting, I like to, things like confetti, I'll just set up a tripod at the back and I'll be at the front or on the side, that kind of thing. Or do you ever kind of shoot the same thing like deliberately and intentionally to kind of be able to sequence that in post? Or is that still just, no, Adam's doing his own thing, Rachel's doing her own thing, and then the coverage is kind of done that way?
But I would say in general, I generally focus more on getting the kind of solid shots, and you tend to get more of the artistic, creative shots.
Yeah, kind of.
The less essential, like if the shot doesn't happen, like it's not the end of the world. So for example, like confetti after the ceremony, for example, like if they're coming back down the aisle, like I might just get a safe shot on a gimbal tracking back, and Rachel will kind of go try and find a high vantage point or just another angle that's just a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's generally how we work it, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll switch that up depending on how we feel.
Yeah, I'd say Adam is more kind of in the forefront of the action, I guess, and I like shooting through people as if it's from a guest perspective, and you know, I don't want people seeing me, and I think guest experience is so important to us. I don't want to be in front of people when the action's happening, and this is my worst nightmare. I think just, you know, I won't be on the floor kind of filming things. Right? I don't know. I just don't want to draw attention to myself. Whereas I think you don't either, but I think you're not as scared to do that. So I'll be kind of.
Do you dress like a guest?
Far back, maybe. Pardon?
Do you dress like a guest to mix in with the guests?
Somewhat, I guess, like a
Generally.
yeah, like you'll be in a tux maybe, and I'll be in a dress. Yeah, just
Trying
in
to
black
blend in.
again.
Yeah. I think it's important as well, especially when there are bigger teams, like to blend in, just in
Mhm.
case you do appear in the photographer's photos or each other's angles. I think if you're dressed like the guests, then you're not really going to be noticed in the edit as much.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main reason that we do that.
Yeah, it works for that style of event as well, I think. Can I ask you about the editing? How's the editing split?
Why are you looking at me like
Yeah, again, it's really fluid, right? Like
we always sound
don't
like we're winging things. This is what we've noticed from any podcast we've done. We sound like we probably don't know what we're doing, but I think because we're so in a rhythm and we don't really have to second guess it, even the filming, the editing, everything. We just kind of do it. So that's why we sound like we're winging it, because we never really think about it.
No, it's second nature. It's really hard as well as creatives to like post rationalize what we do, which I appreciate is really tricky. But it's really interesting that the geodynamic is really interesting to Jeff and I, because we're mostly solo shooters. Typically in the industry, filmmakers do mostly solo weddings. So it's really interesting to get under the skin of like your creative process, shooting, editing, that, and how basically how you two work to create a single film, knowing that two people are working on it, you know?
What happens if you like have a disagreement, like a creative disagreement?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think where we do disagree is always over the edits, right? Always. The way we have had arguments over the edits quite a lot. So I think the way we kind of resolve it now is if one of us has edited a film, it's usually the highlights film where we're kind of having disagreements, because the features are fairly kind of like not formulaic, but you know, we tend to edit them chronologically, so they're not as kind of creative as the highlights films. But yeah, if one of us doesn't, so we'll have like an approval process, won't we? So if one of us has edited, say, a highlights film, the other person will then kind of come and watch it and see what they think. And if it's just minor tweaks, obviously we can make those together. But if we do like fundamentally disagree on, you know, major aspects of it, like the music or
it's often the music.
or the
music's hard though, isn't it? I think we all probably struggle with that.
Yeah. So if that happens, we've just kind of decided, right, like the person that disagrees with how it's been edited, they have a crack at it. And then we have like another review stage, and kind of between us get to a point that we're both happy with the film before it goes to the client. But yeah, it's tricky.
Sounds really good. That sounds really good, actually.
Taste.
It does. That sounds really good. I get Jane's opinion on a lot of things.
Same.
And she's getting more and more involved, actually. You know, she's come on a few shoots, and it's so weird though, isn't it? How triggered you can get. Yeah, it's very triggering.
It's true. Like I've got the same with my wife, because obviously it's just me. My business is just me and myself, shooting, editing. But I use her as like a neutral, you know, a final kind of like, I would like you to cast your eyes over this edit. She doesn't know how to edit. It's just that she gives me a neutral perspective on a wedding film. And sometimes she's like, maybe you could change the song. And I'm like, what? Do you know how difficult it is to create a new edit with it? You know, it's like you're asking me to rework the entire structure of the film. But it's interesting because we're so connected to an edit and we're so close to it because we've edited, we've poured time into it. And then a neutral person comes in and just kind of actually tells us the way everyone else will look at it. And it's like, oh yeah, damn, I have to rework it.
I'm hoping this kind of what you guys are saying is going to help help our situation. Yeah, I'm usually like your partner. Yeah, I'll come in. He's been slaving away at it all day with this song, and it'll be 5 seconds, and I'll hate it already because of the song. And he takes it so personally.
And how does that make you feel, Adam?
Yeah, validated.
It's really hard. So what we've basically agreed upon is that Rachel is the creative director, and she decides.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You are more creative than me, though. I'm not ashamed to admit that. Like you know, you've gone down that creative route
Mm-hmm.
with college and uni and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
whereas I didn't. So I think naturally you are more of a creative.
I've got another question actually, because one of the things, so we've talked about the sort of like duo dynamic that you two have, but one of the things we haven't really touched on is you've talked about the origin and the journey, and we know where you are now, but how did that switch happen? Because now you do a lot of high-end weddings, a lot of multi-day weddings. Where in the past, I think Adam, one of the lines you said at the beginning of the podcast was like, you know, we were getting so many inquiries, you just kind of take all the weddings. How have you gone to that particular part of the market, which is, some people call it luxury, some people call it high end. Regardless of how we call it, you clearly have that niche nailed as far as your business model. How did you get into it?
Gosh, do you know what? I think it probably came about because very early on we did quite a lot of Indian weddings,
Mm-hmm.
in particular multicultural weddings. I think, yeah, one of the first weddings that I ever filmed on my own was an Indian wedding, and they're quite big events, as you guys know. So I think the larger scale stuff probably came about more so because of the market that we were kind of got into, these multicultural markets. Because, you know, if you look at the people that are spending big on weddings, it's generally Indian clients, Jewish clients, and maybe Middle Eastern clients. And I think we just naturally just found ourselves
Mm-hmm.
gravitating towards those markets, and naturally the events are generally quite large. So I think that's kind of how we ended up doing that. But it was quite a gradual process, really. It wasn't like an overnight thing of, oh, suddenly we're doing all these big luxury weddings. It just happened slowly. I think you get a few every year. Like early on, it was like, you know, a couple a year were really standout events, and those were the ones that we would then showcase on our social media and website, and then you just attract more of the same, really. It's a very gradual process. I don't think it was like an overnight jump into the luxury market.
Do you feel the pressure at
what
all?
connections along the way
Yeah,
as well. You connect with wedding planners and other suppliers servicing those clients as well, and I think that it just leads to more of the same, right?
I was just going to ask, do you feel the pressure at all? And has winning 2 awards added to that pressure?
It is in when you say pressure of kind of the wedding day, I think years ago it wasn't, for me anyway, I didn't used to feel as much pressure, whereas you would always be so nervous going to weddings, and then I think that kind of transferred to me as well. And I think obviously the bigger the wedding, the type of client, you know, the type of person, it comes with that pressure, doesn't it? I think if we didn't feel the pressure, I think, you know, you'd get a bit complacent and you'd go into it. I think it's good to kind of feel that.
Yeah. I think the minute those nerves kind of disappear, it's
Mhm.
almost like you shouldn't really be doing this as a job. That's just my belief. Like, I think they kind of keep you sharp, don't they? And I think feeling, I wouldn't say it's so much as pressure. I think, and I think when it comes to awards, like we've always very much created work for our clients, like not, you know, trying to kind of win awards or impress like other videographers within the industry. So I think I've never really felt that pressure. It's more pressure from the client side and sometimes the wedding planners, I think. That's probably the hardest part to deal with. But I think pressure from the awards, I'm not really sure, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's the couples that are paying our bills, and we need to keep them happy. And I think we've always just kind of created work for them and just sort of tried to tune out everything else, and just focus on what it is that they want and what's important to them.
But now you say, I am thinking like, oh, maybe there is pressure from the awards now. Maybe people think, oh, they shouldn't have won that, and I didn't really think about that until now. So
thanks.
Yeah.
On that subject, I think I was just thinking to myself, you know, you've got it, you've nailed it, really. You know, you've got the right attitude. Your business model is, it's not going to create pressure because you are just honest filmmakers that are working for the clients. The pressure only comes along when you set up workshops and, and then you've got to your work has got to reflect the fact that you're teaching other people, and I just wanted to thank you basically, because I feel like we are lucky that you've entered, because your business model is keeping yourselves to yourselves and working for the clients, and the fact that you've put yourself out there and entered this is great. It's people like you that we want to attract, because there's a plethora of British wedding filmmakers that aren't out there. They're just quietly doing brilliant work and no one's seeing it other than their clients. So it's people like you that we want to attract, So thanks for entering. I'm going to work my hardest to get Real Vision to enter next year, but I doubt we will. But, how many people are...
I know,
they don't need to enter
anyway.
There must be hundreds and thousands of people that are like, on your level that just no one knows about.
Exactly,
So,
yeah. That's the thing.
That's because they're called filmmakers, and they've nicked it for everyone else.
No, it's impossible to rebrand now, isn't it?
No.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Would we? I don't know.
But yeah,
No,
I
don't
just wanted to say just how cool it is that you guys have created these awards. I think that was what drew us to enter, just knowing obviously some of you beforehand, and just like, you're doing it for the right reasons. Like, you're not trying to just make money from it. You just want to create something cool for our industry that really elevates the standard. And just, it's like a celebration almost for people within the UK wedding film industry, which there's nothing out there like that. So I just think it's such a cool thing that you guys have set
generally
up.
speaking, guys, what are your thoughts on just awards and in the industry?
Is this when we get cancelled? I don't know.
No, not at all.
I don't know. I think there are certain awards I think out there that would you say awards? I don't know, top 10 lists and stuff that are all the same, and it's all the same kind of style, the same kind of people, and it's not really giving.
It's not based on it.
No, it's not at all. And clients or couples will see that and think, oh, they've won all these awards, and it means nothing. And I think as well, when awards are based on, I don't know, like the wedding industry awards, for example, like we entered those a couple of times, didn't win either. So that's when we kind of thought, we won't ever enter awards again. There's, I
think, yeah, if you look at like the fairest way to do an awards, it probably is something like TWIA, because you're basing it on their clients and industry experts as well. But I think the problem like we had with the wedding industry awards after a while is actually asking your clients to give feedback. It's quite a lot to put on someone, I think. And I didn't really feel comfortable doing that after a certain point.
Your kinds of clients. You don't really want to ask.
I mean,
sometimes you wouldn't even hear back after you delivered the film. So to then months later, like, oh, can you give us some feedback for this award? They just
I don't know. It can take like 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe to complete those forms, and like most people don't have that time now, right? Like, we struggle as normal people to find the time to leave a Google review, for example. So yeah, I think to fill in long forms and stuff, it just seems like it's a lot to ask of someone.
But then, you say it's very fair because it is kind of the industry experts and then also your clients, which are the two, it's all that matters really. Those are.
Yeah.
Whereas, the British Film Awards, British
you should check in the name.
You know what it's called.
We're getting some gold on this one. This is social media gold.
We're just going to be out of business after this goes live, aren't we? Like, this is another thing as well. After the award, like, I need to make a formal apology to everybody I spoke to that night. So I'm very sorry.
Why?
Because I think it was just embarrassing, weren't I? I don't know.
You just had a few drinks.
I spoke to you and you didn't seem drunk at all. You just seemed normal. Okay, although I was pretty pissed. So.
You were on par.
Maybe
basically.
we were all just really drunk.
So talking about the awards, you've been going for 13 years now. Did winning British Filmmaker of the Year at this year's festival, is that going to change anything? Does it validate something? Or is it just, it's great to have recognition, but you're just going to keep doing what you do?
Yeah, I think exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it will change anything because we're still, our clients are at the heart of our business really. And our focus is on delivering what they want essentially. So I don't think it's going to change much in that sense, but it just gives that validation, I guess, for them as well. And to know that I guess we've received this award and you guys are all awesome. All the judges are incredibly talented, well-respected people in the industry. So I think just to have that recognition, it means a lot to us personally. And also I think it will probably help from a marketing perspective and, just to build that trust with future clients as well.
I think because we are more kind of under the radar, I guess, we're not that loud on social media or in Facebook groups. I think knowing that, there is that validation from people that we do look up to, it does. Sometimes you second guess what you're doing. Maybe not so much these days because we're kind of, we're confident in what we're producing, what we're doing for our clients. But it always matters, doesn't it? If you win an award, it is a good feeling, especially when you've been doing it for so long and this is the first award that you've won. So
really,
this kind of award as well,
Wow, that's great. I'm so glad you guys won it. Honestly,
thank you so much. Honestly,
it's nice when it's someone that is just doing the work in such an honest way, and just I love your attitude towards it. That's one thing I've really enjoyed about doing these podcasts is appreciating all these different attitudes and although they are very different, I can understand each one, and it's like, you're like a stark kind of different, opposite kind of end of the spectrum to yesterday's guests, let's say. But I agree with both of you, and it's been, I found it really enjoyable to, to see these outlooks. How about you, Joce?
I agree with that, Jeff.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Nothing to say on that front. I agree. One of the just on the sort of the judging process, because the judges felt strongly about you guys as British filmmakers, and I don't know if you remember at the festival on the tables there were different judges' quotes.
Yeah.
And one of those quotes was from one of the judges for you two, and it said quietly killing it, and that's what you're doing.
Oh,
yeah, amazing. Well, that's really good. Yeah.
Which judge said that?
I won't name names.
Yeah, I think.
Do you even remember who said that, Joce?
I do.
Yeah.
No, because it's me. It wasn't me.
Oh, was it you?
No, it's not me. It's not me.
You. Oh, right.
No,
I don't remember. I remember someone saying it in the round table, but I don't remember who. But we'll find out for you, so you can, send them flowers or whatever. Right. Let's get down to. Can you remind us, please, what your 2 truths and a lie were?
Hey, let's have a look.
It was a skiing holiday, wasn't
it?
They were that memorable, weren't they?
They were. So number 1, we met while skiing in France.
We got married in Tuscany.
That's changed, wasn't it Puglia before?
No. Mate, no.
Trying to trip you up there. Okay, and the last one, we once filmed a wedding where they used cloud seeding to guarantee nice weather on the day.
I like that.
I think that's true. I think that one's true.
Same. I agree with that. No, I think they met on a skiing holiday in France. That's true.
So
yeah, I'll go with that.
I'm going to say I haven't got a clue. I'm just going to have a guess. They're stabbing in the dark and say you met on a skiing holiday is a lie.
Jeff would be correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually never been skiing. Well, I've never been skiing. You've been snowboarding once. Yeah, so we've both never skied before.
Stab in the dark. I'm just spawny.
But you got married in Italy. That is true.
In Tuscany, yeah. I don't know where you got Puglia from, Jeff, but that would have been nice. I've never been to Puglia, so
I think Joce was talking about Puglia before you came on. I think I got confused.
Oh,
maybe. Talk to me about the last fact then, because that's quite epic. To basically get good weather, guaranteed good weather. Yeah. Love that.
So yeah, there's a company that actually offers it as a service in Europe called Oliver's Travels. So you can hire them to basically, I think what they do is they will fire cloud bursting devices into the sky, and they'll make it rain before your wedding, and then you'll have beautiful sunny weather on your wedding day.
That's amazing. That's a great fact. I love that. Well, Adam, Rachel, thank you so very much for joining us on the first episode of Beyond the Awards. And we can't wait to see what 2026 looks like and see you at the festival next year.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Yeah,
Thank you so
pleasure
much.
chatting, and
We'll see you
see you
then.
then. Yeah, see you next year.